I just wish Dad had done things that I guess Bill Cosby did with his kids.
Right.
That he didn't do with us.
Right. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Maybe that pisses me off that I had to be raised by a TV dad and I had my own dad in the house that didn't give a fuck, that didn't give me a drum set, didn't do anything, didn't encourage. All he was into was doing his art, smoking a joint, having his Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that hurt me.
It did.
And it's the fact that he didn't teach me, he didn't sit down and teach me about the birds and the bees or what's the proper way to treat a woman, what's the proper way to deal with kids. None of that.
The statement I remember about Gary with Dad is that Dad went to get some bread and didn't come back or some shit like that. And I was just like, what? And he was like, yeah, he left Gary and Denise, my other sister, Mike, behind. He just said, yo, one day he just went out and said, I'm going to get some bread and didn't come back.
Is that what happened, Gary?
I heard something like that. It's kind of like that.
It happened like
that? From my father's side, from what I got from my father told me that I'm thinking about getting married to Loretta. And when my mother found out about Loretta, my father almost came close to death. So at that time, when Kiani was born, my mother had a baby that she miscarried. So that baby would have been the same age as Kiani. My father wasn't there. And basically, my mom's was like, enough. And when she heard about Loretta, all it was like, that motherfucker come in here, he dead.
So it's not that he went out for bread. He stayed outside after he got the bread and was like, I'm going to just put this right here and just slink on back and get out of here before I get killed.
Pretty much, that's what I'm assuming.
He went out for bread. For food, from my mom to food, it's like he went to the corner store.
Right.
How was Pop as a grandpa?
The greatest. I can't lie. He is the greatest grandpa I ever met. As far as my kids were concerned, great. My kids loved my father. I think because they used to get him high and they used to wait and shit. I think that's what it is. Like me and my wife used to go away. Pop was the babysitter. So all his job was to do is watch the kids. But what the problem was, the kids were a little bit older. So they would get Pop the good weed and fuck Pop up.
Get him lit.
and like, it worked for each one. These did what she wanted to do. Chanel was able to bring the girls in the house, and Pop was thinking they were the same girl because he's so high, he didn't know the difference. Kiani was smooth with it. He didn't push Kiani. He didn't push Pop in the bad direction. He was always the good one. But I think out of anything I'm more proud of my father was that he was a good grandfather.
Gary, what's the one thing you take from Dad that you just hold on to?
His creativity. His art, but his creativity. He gave me a chance to think. So the creativity that he had in him definitely passed into me. I wouldn't say no.
What about you, Fu?
I think, as crazy as it is, as crazy as it seems, one thing I did love about my father, he was very calm. Just his demeanor. His demeanor was just very calm. I wish I could be a little bit more calm when I'm talking to my sons, but I try to be. But he really did give me the gift of art. I didn't use it.
He gave me the gift of calmness. I don't have it, but
I was like, I'm sorry.
I learned, I think with him dealing with my kids, I learned how to have a little bit more patience. I got to contribute a little bit to food, which I fucking hate doing.
Give your brother props.
Want me to have a more open mind, because with my kids, I'm like, fuck it. It's either my way or I'm gonna fucking whoop your ass. I don't really give a fuck. I learned from Fu. There's another part to things. And like I said, I don't want to get this no credit. Your mic. I don't want to I don't want to give my brother no credit.
He's like, oh God, I gotta tell him I gotta give him props. Oh God.
I gotta admit, when it comes down, even though the shit I talk about my brother, when it comes down to being a dad, he is a much better dad than I am. I think Fu has a lot. Even though he looks he looks exactly like Dad in the face. Light skin, the beard, everything. Fu is the one who looks mostly like Dad. But I gotta actually admit that Fu is a better dad than for someone who didn't have the dad that he wish he had.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I wasn't talking to Mike. I wasn't coming. I was just talking to y'all.
Right,
I wasn't complimenting you. Right. As a compliment, I was just talking to
my bad. My bad. You was in your feelings. Tomorrow, tomorrow you'll be like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I ain't never say that. I ain't never say that shit. It was an actual conversation between me, Gary, and Mike. It wasn't really for food to hear.
Like Gary said, both of you.
Both of y'all.
Yeah, because I'm like, I took part of you and my other big brother to be the father that I am. So you just as important of a father figure to me because you raised me.
This perspective is necessary because there's a lot of men, young and old, without the ability to really get into the weeds of their feelings because we've been trained to dampen that and to push that down and like you did, Gary. I did the same thing. It's like if I keep my eyes on the prize and not get bothered with this bullshit, I'm gonna be all right. But then when you get to the end, you're like, so now that we're here, damn, I wish I knew my brothers more. I wish I had access to this brother more. Like, what did he go through? And what did he know? And how was his relationship? And how are his kids? And what the fuck? Like all that. You get the chance now, but it's on you to do. It's on us to make that happen.
It's on all of us. Yeah,
that's true.
You know what makes it crazy? I just realized I am the middle child.
You're the middle child.
And I see why I react the way I do to a lot of shit. Me have an older brother and a younger brother. Now I'm more happy about who I am.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm the middle
You're
child.
justified. You're
There's
justified.
a reason why I am the way I am. It is what it is.
Be proud of who you've grown to become.
And I'm gonna tell you this, Mike, this was really good, especially for Gary, for you. But I'm gonna tell you, ain't shit gonna change between me and my brother by tomorrow. by tomorrow, he gonna be the same motherfucker that he was when we were kids.
when he got 15 and you got 2.
And look, he'll say it with the 3 of us, but he ain't gonna never say to me that he's the middle brother. He gonna be like, I'm still the older brother. I'm still older than you. I'm still the older brother. But now I'm gonna text Gary and I'm gonna tell my brother to smack the shit out of you.
Gary don't text like anyway. I don't care. I don't feel threatened. What you gotta say?
Yeah, all right.
When my big brother come, you gonna really change your tune.
When big come, I bet you shut the fuck up then.
I'll be talking where he's going.
Yeah, we gone.